I just really want to talk about this young lady, Eileen Gu. And, I'm still learning about her. And boy, everything I've been reading about is so impressive. And there's all these haters for Eileen Gu. And it's amazing. So I kind of wanted to get into it. And you guys tell me what you think about this. So, Eileen Gu is a freestyle skier, and she just won the gold medal. Was it last night, I think, or in what they call big air, where they go on these crazy jumps, flying through the air, doing all kinds of crazy tricks. Well, she won the big air freestyle event on Tuesday. I guess like today's Tuesday, but I think it's already Wednesday in China right now, isn't it? I think it is. So it was yesterday she won the gold medal. And she did what was called, she did a couple of tricks that were unbelievable. And one of them, the one that she did the trick at the very end to win the gold medal. She had never done it before. I mean, she's a risk taker. She's a thrill seeker. And, she's really trusting herself because she knows what she's capable of doing. And I'm just seeing this and just thinking, this is so awesome. And to me, I watch the Olympics and it's amazing how it gets so politicized, and it doesn't need to be like that, people. I mean, the Olympics should be all about individual achievement. Some of these athletes coming on the worldwide stage and just accomplishing their goals, all that training, all that hard work paying off, and they're able to share that with their friends, their family, and lots of other people in their community and people in their nation. It's all good. But we get these haters, and like Eileen Gu, and I'll kind of get into this in a little bit. She is an American citizen. She was born in San Francisco, just like me. But she ended up deciding to enter the Olympics on the Chinese Olympic team because her mother was born and raised in China. Her father is an American. She's biracial. She decided she could have gone either way. She could have been on the American team or on the Chinese team. She decided to go in as a member of the Chinese team. That's elicited all kinds of just stupid hatred from some people here in America, thinking that she's defected and she's not loyal to her nation and all this baloney. Well, like I said, I just love these Olympics because it's such a celebration of this individual achievement. And that's really what this should be about. But so many people look at the Olympics, they see it as some sort of like it becomes a nationalist sort of thing. You get the people that are all about America and root for America, and then it gets political. It gets worldwide leaders kind of get in battles and certain nations get suspended and it becomes politicized. And it's a damn shame that it has to be done that way. But in many ways, Eileen Gu is sort of bucking the trend of all this. And I just think it's fantastic. So I want to share with you just a video clip from CNN, and they talk a little bit about her, and they talk a little bit. She speaks at her press conference following getting the gold medal, and I want to share that with you. We'll comment a few moments through this. I mean, it's just remarkable. So let me get my screen sharing here, and let's see if I can do this right. We're going to share the audio as well. I'm going to put on the headphones so I can figure out what the heck I'm doing here. So here we go. We're going to put on the headphones and we're going to share this screen. And there we go. So hopefully you're seeing all this properly. And I'm going to play this. Like I said, I'll probably pause it a few times just to offer some interesting commentary. So here we go.
The Snow Princess delivered. She won gold in the women's big air skiing event. She made a perfect landing on a trick she says she has never attempted before.
Never attempted.
Who was born in the US said about it.
I think of all my tricks as a rhythm and music and like kind of motion. So in that sense, the wind in my ears, the speed of my turn, when I wrap the spin, it speeds up. And so like there's a change in tempo. And so I was visualizing that. I was thinking about that going into the trick. I felt very confident that if I didn't land it, it would be safe.
So right here, I mean, we're seeing her talk about the trick. She's talking about what she's feeling, the artistry of the whole event. The rhythm, the music, the motion. I mean, this is cool to me. This is a celebration of human achievement, and she articulates it perfectly. So let's keep going on this.
and that I would still be able to participate in my next two events. But more than anything, I thought that it was an opportunity to represent myself and this message that I've always had of breaking your own boundaries. So no matter if I landed it or not, it was, I feel like, a testament to my character, and that is something that I wanted to show the world.
This is brilliant. I mean, she says this is really an individual accomplishment for her. She thinks it's a reflection of her character, what she's trying to accomplish. She's not making this about nations. She's not making about this about America versus China. She's going out there with her own individual objectives, and she's essentially, what I would say, pursuing her happiness at the highest degree. She is demonstrating just a remarkable high level of achievement, and she understands the moment that she's in. And again, this is just such a beautiful message.
Wow. Well, her fans went wild, and Weibo, the Chinese version of Twitter, temporarily crashed after tens of millions of fans rushed online to celebrate.
This is the other kind of funny part because, she is, an American citizen born in San Francisco. She decides to go and be a member of the Chinese team. And the people in China are just, she's like a rock star in China. And so they're excited that she's on their team. She's an international superstar that has come from America that wants to represent the Chinese team. For them, the Chinese people are all excited about this. They were so excited that I guess the internet crashed in China. But this is the sort of thing that again, there's some people in America that are really angry about this, that she is representing the Chinese team rather than the American team. And I just think that's a load of, to use a Biden phrase, a load of malarkey. So, like when, for example, like when they have the World Baseball Classic, it's sort of like the World Cup for soccer, but they do it for baseball, and all the nations compete. Well, there's a lot of American baseball players who are born in America that actually have heritage from other nations, and they'll compete on the other teams for whatever reason they choose. Maybe just something that's personal for them and their family. But like Mike Piazza, the Hall of Fame catcher for the Dodgers and for the Mets, and even had a cup of coffee here in San Diego with the Padres. I think he played on the Italian team in the World Baseball Classic. Or was it the Italian baseball team in the Summer Olympics back when baseball was one of the events? So, this sort of thing where you see athletes kind of switching teams, representing different nations. People get so hung up on this from a political perspective, but just that doesn't matter. None of that matters. These are athletes that are pursuing their happiness. I mean, we talk about this podcast as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is them pursuing, we're really, having great life achievements, having the liberty to represent whatever nation they feel like. And again, this might be just her way of just expressing her love for her mother. It isn't necessarily, President Xi versus Donald Trump or President Biden. It's nothing to do with that. But some of these nationalists, these right-wing nationalists, make it a big deal, and it's very discouraging. But let's hear a little bit more from this clip.
Let's get you to Koi Wire for more Olympic action. But before we do, we've got to start with, before we talk about anything else, we've got to start with Eileen Gu. I mean, this is remarkable, and she's just so eloquent as she talks.
Right on.
What a story of unity, of uniting, it's inspirational, this stuff, isn't it?
It is, and just 18 years old. And she mentioned composing music. That's how she sees her sport. She actually is a piano playing prodigy. She plays Beethoven. But she's born in San Francisco. She chose to compete for China because of a strong mother-daughter bond. Becky, Gu is a horseback riding star. She graduated high school in just 3 years. She's already been admitted to her dream school, Stanford. She's modeled for Louis Vuitton. She's racked up about 20 brand partners in big time dollars. Now she's the
But this is just unbelievable. I mean, what did they say? Got out of, graduated high school in 3 years, a piano prodigy, um, and a horse. What was it? I don't know, a horse riding champion of some kind, a model for Louis Vuitton. I mean, wow, and an Olympic gold medalist, and she just got one gold medal under her belt. She's got a couple of more competitions left, on her agenda. And yeah, like the announcer said there, this was a mother-daughter bond thing that drove her to want to represent China. It was her showing her love and appreciation for her mother. So this is just a beautiful story. I mean, and this is a young lady that, oh my gosh, I mean, her future is going to be unbelievable. And these are people that are out there, achieving great things in their life, essentially pursuing their happiness and doing it at the ultimate degree. And you could see that she is a young lady that has been successful in many dimensions of her life, pursuing her happiness. I mean, I always like to think of that old Army, United States Army slogan that they use for recruiting: "Be all that you can be." I mean, Eileen Gu is a great example of that. So let's continue with this.
the poster child for these Olympic Games. After winning that gold earlier Tuesday, she talked about her decision more to compete for China instead of Team USA. Listen.
So I definitely feel as though I am just as American as I am Chinese. I'm American when I'm in the US, and I'm Chinese when I'm in China. And I've been very outspoken about my gratitude to both the US and China for making me the person who I am. I don't feel as though I'm, taking advantage of one or the other, because both have actually been incredibly supportive of me and continue to be supportive of me, because they understand that my mission is to use sport as a force for unity, to use it as a form to foster interconnection between countries.
Yeah, right on.
And not use it as a divisive force.
Becky, you mentioned her being so eloquent. She said she wants to unite people, promote common understanding, create communication, and forge friendships between nations. She's already won 1 Olympic gold, and she has a chance to win 2 more of them here at these Beijing Games.
So, I mean, isn't this just so awesome? So we've got, let me kind of get out of this sharing screen business. So, anyways, this young lady is, I mean, this is someone to celebrate. I mean, what she's accomplishing, and she understands the moment. She understands the stage. And while we look around us and, you turn on cable news and there's always a bunch of crazy talking heads barking about this, barking about that, looking to divide our country, looking to create separation and division and hate from one group to another. There's a lot of friction amongst nations. And then here comes Eileen Gu, a young lady that really doesn't, she says she's as much American as she is Chinese, but she's not really. She's ultimately about bringing people together. She's ultimately about serving as a representative of her own character. She is expressing her, her family connections through this whole thing. To me, this is just a beautiful thing. Never mind the fact that she is, I mean, I didn't even know this, that she was a model, or she is a model, and she's, been accepted at Stanford. I mean, this is just an amazing story. Now, a little bit of a tangent on this that I found interesting is that her mother, Yang Gu, was born in Shanghai and was raised in Beijing, and she emigrated to the United States about 30 years ago for postgraduate studies, and she settled in San Francisco. And then, she ended up marrying an American, and Eileen is their daughter. But this is a little bit of a tangent, and it's consistent with this notion of pursuing happiness. Eileen Gu's mother, Yang Gu, she came to America to pursue her happiness, and thankfully she was able to stay here. So often we see a lot of these authority figures, especially a bunch of blowhard politicians that talk about deporting people, send them back to where they came from. A lot of this BS. I mean, when someone comes to America and goes to college here, especially if they go and get a postgraduate degree, these are the people that we should be embracing to stay in America. And thankfully, Eileen Gu's mother did stay in America. But think about how many students come here internationally to go to college. They get a bachelor's degree, or maybe they get a master's or a doctorate. They have all this talent, all this brain power, and then we ended up sending them back to the nation they came from, when we could use them here in America. I mean, we could, if they're pursuing careers in healthcare as a doctor, or if whatever they're choosing to do, if they want to be an engineer and they want to innovate here in the United States, we should be welcoming these people with open arms. I've heard someone comment once before is that when an international student gets a college degree in America from a United States university, particularly if it comes from with a graduate degree, I mean, they should be getting an automatic green card. It should be like paper clip to their diploma when they go up and get their diploma on graduation day. So, I talk all about pursuing happiness as really an ideal that I'm always trying to embrace it, trying to improve myself. And I want to evangelize that message of pursuing happiness. But I see this story with Eileen Gu and the wonderful things that she's accomplishing, and her background and what her mother did to come to America and have her own success. I mean, to me, this is just a fantastic story. So what are your thoughts on this? Feel free to type in your comments on Facebook or YouTube and let me know. Okay. But yeah, the reaction from the haters on this. I mean, I'm going to read you. This was someone's tweet. I'm going to have to bleep out certain words here, but this is insane. Some of these people. This person said, "I hate to say this, but I might be forced to agree with the right-wing types about Eileen Gu, born in the United States, raised here, learned to ski here, trained here, and then wins the gold for frigging China. Don't come home, Eileen Gu. You like China so much. Stay there. Bet you won't like it much." What the hell are these people? What is going on here? I mean, this is a person that should be celebrated. But again, these whack jobs get so hung up on what nation you're representing. It doesn't matter, people. The Olympics is all about pursuing happiness. It's all about individual human achievement. And I think that's worthy of celebration. Okay. I want to